welcome back to another episode of Jayla Marie is Free. I'm your host, Jayla Marie.
And I'm your co-host, Erica.
And today we're going to talk about something that everyone's talking about, actually. Us.
We're going to talk about Us.
Movie directed by Jordan Peele.
Written and
directed by Jordan Peele. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, would you like to start? I'll let you start. You want me to start?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a lot. By the way, if you haven't seen it already, there are going to be spoilers, so...
Spoiler alert.
Go see it and then come back.
Mm-hmm. Come back.
Don't forget. So, to start, Okay, well, first, the opening was very... I could tell it was a Jordan Peele movie just by the opening.
Yeah.
Like, the sweeping, like, cinematic, like, landscape, scenery is, like, almost identical to Get Out.
Yeah.
You know, with the trees and all that.
Absolutely.
So,
I think that would be his signature.
Yeah. And, you know, they come out of it that way, too, in both films. So, yeah, that was first. That's what I really appreciated. And then you didn't forget that it was a scary movie because, like, the shots were very wide. You see a lot of shadows. Like, even when they're on the beach, you know, they're holding their stuff, and the shadows are a lot bigger than them. So it shows, you know, what's about to happen. Something's coming. So it's very dark. Even though I like him because he shows darkness without having dark lighting.
Yes.
Like, you know, in Get Out at the beginning when Logan, when he gets kidnapped, or whatever his actual name was, when he gets kidnapped, you know, it's very dark. It's in a dark suburban neighborhood. And then here, you know, it's very light. You know, they're on the beach, the sun is out, but you see all these shadowy figures.
There's a lot. And I feel like off of seeing the shadowy figures, that was like a giveaway.
Yeah, of what was about to happen. Yeah.
Exactly the setup. We're gonna try to break it up into like increments of what we want to talk about. So the cinematic, he does that really well.
I like it because he gives you just enough. He gives you the information that says, okay, here, go do what you want with it.
Because I know I've seen scary movies where the darkness is overwhelming.
It's overbearing, yeah.
Yeah. But with him, you still see the silhouette of a person, or you still see everything, just like you said, the beach and everything you still see. Now, in the beginning, what did you think? Like, the whole scene with the parents at the fair and stuff, like, what was
At first, I was like, what is this? Like, what? Because we were just talking about how the trailer is very different from the movie.
It only shows 5%.
Yeah, and you know, with trailers, it's scary because sometimes you're like, oh, I just saw the whole movie.
Exactly.
I know everything that's gonna happen, but he put just enough in to where it's like, you think you know, but you have no idea. So yeah, I really enjoy it because you need that backstory to really get the ending and what's going on. So it's crazy because we both plan on going to see it again. We both only seen it once, but
I'm see it 2 more times for sure.
Yeah, for sure. He said he plans on Lupita was like, yeah, he plans for people to see it, you know, to get their 7th time. Their 7th time seeing it. So I was like,
I think that's why he do it and tells a story in a way. What I really like about Jordan Peele is like he makes these movies, and of course he has his own interpretation, but I feel like he puts like certain symbols that's like very, very open-ended to where everyone can have something different. Like me and Jayla, we've been obsessing about the explain video since we've seen the movie, and it's like I've never seen the explain that was the same. Everything was so different. And
some of them caught on to different things. Yeah. So yeah, for sure.
So the mise en scène, the cinematography on the film was A+ for us.
Yeah, there's not many things that I give a 10 out of 10 as a film critic, film analysis.
And we're both film nerds.
Yeah. So with that, I definitely would give him a 10.
10
11, 12. Yeah, it's definitely... There was a few things that I was like, I don't get that. But, you know, you can tell he has a certain directing style, which I really liked.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. He has a signature.
Yeah.
Isn't it Monkey Paw? I expect a lot of Monkey Paw Productions. I expect it to be. He really opened up, like he set the tone for horror films or like film psychological thrillers, period.
Yeah.
So that brings us into our next point, Jayla. The ending.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Well, let's talk about the ending at the end. Okay. So, what I did like about it is it's different because, you know, he kills the white people first.
Oh my. And then how the white people die is so bad, Yes, guys, we want to censor ourselves on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Like, from the daughter, the way the daughter killed that, and I was like, vengeance.
Yeah.
Because, and I knew something was going to happen because when they were on the beach and the white girls come up to her and is like, your brother's weird. I'm like, first of all,
Yeah.
And she didn't even react the way I wanted her to.
Yeah.
But she made it up.
Yeah.
In the end, when she took that and she kept on going, I was so surprised at her.
But that is actually I'm typing if y'all hear me. But that's actually one of the Easter eggs that some people caught on to. So we can talk about that as well. So
Easter eggs. Boo.
Let's talk about some Easter eggs. So we're gonna try to analyze the movie as well. So like we said, there's gonna be some spoilers. If you haven't seen it,
go watch it.
Please go see it and then come back.
You can pause. We'll wait.
Did you get your ticket yet?
Fandango.com. Matinee in the morning. $5 Tuesdays. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're back. So some of the Easter eggs, well, in the beginning, I'm gonna try to do them in order. I kind of have them sporadically on here, but so the daughter says, you know, the government puts fluoride in our water so they can control us, and that's interesting because when Red is like explaining everything, she talks about how, you know, it was a failed experiment and like that's why they have clones.
Yeah.
And so that's like her foreshadowing like what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And then also there is when she's snapping.
Yeah.
You guys saw this in the trailer.
And
but
you
the mom,
thought you was tripping.
Right.
When you was seeing it, you was like, she ain't on beat.
Right. And she says, get on beat. And she's like totally off.
And you guys can hear it right now when we're talking about like not on beat.
But that kind of goes along with the ending as well. It's like, well, she doesn't completely merge with the upper world. And so it's like, you know, she also says on the beach, I have trouble connecting. And then you realize why, like towards the end. So she says she's snapping off beat. And then going back to when you said your brother's weird, it's funny because I saw this in an analysis video. She says your brother's weird because she asked him, you know, what are you making? He says a tunnel. Usually kids are making like a sand castle or a sand house or something like that. He says I'm making a tunnel. So that is funny because we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that one.
Yes.
We'll come back to that one.
We got a theory about that.
So yeah, but she says your brother's weird. He's making a tunnel. And then there's also the Jeremiah 11:11.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that is, I will read it to you.
Jeremiah 11:11. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape, and they shall cry unto me. I will not hearken unto them. Yeah, and so in layman's terms, I don't do King James. I don't do that. I do New International Version. And basically it says, therefore, this is what the Lord says. I will bring on them a disaster they cannot escape. Although they cry out to me, I will not listen to them. So that's like a big part of this whole thing. Because it's a disaster that's happening. It's like it's not a world disaster. It's a American disaster. It's an American thing. So that's something I also thought was very, you know, interesting because like in movies like Bird Box, you know, it's a global thing, you know, the disaster is global. But Jordan Peele says, no, we're going to talk about American privilege, white privilege, you know, all the disastrous things that happen here. So was very interesting to me. And then at the very beginning of the movie, he says like in America there's all these abandoned subway systems and, you know, underground tunnels and things like that, and mine shafts that are abandoned. So that's why I was very interested to see his take
on just, you know, the American way.
Yeah.
Because even in Get Out, it's American.
Yeah.
It's an American issue.
Even for them, the tether to call themselves American.
Yeah, they say, that was another thing we wrote down. It says, they say we're American, which is definitely interesting because someone pointed out in a video that I didn't even get that at first. Because, you know, obviously it's called us, which can also be U.S.
Yeah.
And what he said, the reason they say we're American is, you know, the underprivileged rising up and getting what they deserve, which is a big thing that we have here. Is the underprivileged don't get their reparations, don't get what they deserve, things of that nature. So I thought that was very interesting, you know, for them to say we're American, you know, we're doing it the American way. So yeah, what do you think about that?
Even, I mean, I saw Winston Duke's interview with the Breakfast Club, and that was my interpretation of it too. But he kind of put it towards still like black people, and like how, kind of like to a certain extent what you said, like how privilege hasn't always been on our side. And he just said like with characters being African Americans in the forefront, it will always be about race. Although I didn't get that when I was watching that.
I was just about to say I didn't get a racial thing because all of the untethered were none of, like, the only black people you really saw were the four main characters.
Exactly, because it didn't feel like they had a race.
Right.
It didn't feel like these.
It didn't feel like it was the untethered race against the tethered race. It just felt like the untethered versus the tethered. Especially because they were all mixed. You know, it wasn't like, you know, they were all black. I don't know. I got a more racial message from Get Out because it's that black white. Like that was what you got. So I didn't really get that.
It was clear who the enemy was.
Yeah.
But here the enemy
the lines are blurred.
The lines are very blurred.
It's a gray area.
There's a huge gray area with us. And I agree. I feel like us could, like, there is so many different double meanings to us. I honestly, absolutely.
Yeah, I believe that as well.
It's definitely you against you, because who can beat you other than you?
Right.
And definitely the United States. Because they were coming, talk later, of course, because Red was the only one that was able to talk. There's another reason for that.
Yeah.
But for her to be the only one to be able to talk, and how they were like, we're not having these conversations. Basically what America does do when they go overseas to these countries and they invade. That's exactly what the Tether was doing. They were invading their own self.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like Red started it. Red let them know, like, hey, there's this other side and we can go here. But
that's what she says. She says that too, that they knew she was, like, she's the one who led it, basically. Yeah. And you can tell that she's different because everyone else quickly kills. You know, when they go to the house, as soon as the sisters show up, they kill. And so with her, she draws it out. She wants revenge. She wants torture. So that's,
and for Adelaide to know, like, it's weird how the entire movie, when you know the ending, the entire movie, you go back and you're like, oh, yeah, that's why she's like, stop talking to her husband. She's like, hush.
Right, because she knows exactly what's going on.
She knows what's on the other side. So she's like, wait a minute, like, this is my worst.
It's all going back. Yeah.
She always was, even for her daughter, get your shoes.
Yeah.
Because she knew throughout the entire movie, even to knowing where like, I didn't think about it while I was watching it, like how she just went through this door and then go through here and then go down this. And I'm like,
but she even said, exactly. She's like, yeah, exactly. I was like, she knows exactly where she is. She knows exactly what door to go through. Because when she first went into the house, I was thinking, okay, she's going to be going around in circles in a thing of mirrors. But she immediately finds that door. She immediately knows where to go. She immediately goes through those classrooms. So I'm like, wait a minute. That's when it started to come together. I was like, how does she know? How does she know? And that's when you take a step back and you're looking at Adelaide like, who are you? You know?
Are you Adelaide?
Yeah, it's like you have to. It's like you look at yourself like, wait a second.
She couldn't talk.
Right.
None of them can talk. Why couldn't she talk as a child? Like, it does all start to
it all comes together, which is very, very interesting. And then one thing that's really cool about Jordan Peele is he sees the scariness in American culture. Like, he talked about Hands Across America.
Wait, because I got it. And you can put it right here, Jayla. Because I was like, okay.
We're going to talk about what Hands Across America was and why it's important to the film.
Yes. Hands Across America was a benefit event and publicity campaign staged on Sunday, May 25th, 1986, in which approximately 6.5 million people held hands in a human chain for 50 minutes.
Yep.
Along a path across the United States.
Yep. Yep. And you know, there's gaps, obviously. So they talked about the gaps. So, you know, some of them were able to kill their doppelganger, some of them weren't. And, you know, it's just really interesting because they're all wearing red.
Who was able to kill their doppelganger other than them?
That's what I'm saying. But, there's got to be somebody who did, you know?
They
didn't show it.
Coming soon.
Right, there's got to be somebody who was able to, you know, we like guns here in America, so they only had scissors.
Jayla.
That might be a good sequel.
Jayla just asked, why did Jordan do scissors and not guns?
Yeah. I think it's because
that's important.
You're able to cut away. I think that's like literally like the metaphor. It's
like with hands across.
You have to cut. You know, and to even cut like you have to cut those little people. You know, you have to, like, she breaks it, but you know, before that she's cutting. So it's like you have to literally cut the connection. Like when we say we cut people off. I feel like that's kind of the metaphor with the scissors versus them like having, you know, machine guns and things like that. It was.
Jayla, you was able to connect that. Got me wondering. So you put on here, we got notes, guys. Yeah. We're trying to get organized. You put subways.
Yeah, because they, like, that's what I was talking about, the underground thing. Like, the way it's just all this abandoned space that we don't even think about, you know? And that's really scary to think about. But it's crazy because what I was about to bring up is he finds the scariness in suburban culture. Usually our scary movies are taking place in rural areas or even, you know, in the hood with big guns and things like that. But he finds it in regular, everyday, like the good life. But yeah, he finds the fear in like suburban culture and things like that. He's talked about that in an interview too. He's like, that's scary, you know? Like, cause
it's crazy how he did that with Get Out too.
Right. Yeah. That's his style, like we said, of writing and directing. Like, that's what's scary. And like, but he said he came across the fear of like doppelgangers is like, he imagined like being in the subway and seeing himself looking back at him and like smiling like, I know something that you don't. Like, that's scary to think about. Like, if I saw myself looking back at me, I'd be like, okay, like
I'd be like, dang, you know what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, like, and that's funny because when they're chasing each other and stuff and they're like, we have to go to Mexico, and she's like, they know what we're thinking. They know how we think. They're us.
And he's like, let's stay here. And they're like, no, they know. Yeah. We're right here.
Exactly. So that's because she knew. That's the thing. Like, she already knew.
See, that goes back to she always had that insight, and we thought that she always had that insight because she had an experience when she was a child. We wasn't thinking. We still didn't talk about the ending, but we're gonna get there, guys. Okay. And you talked about snapping off a beat.
Yeah, I think we're moving on to the untethered and tethered. So basically there's a parallel between the two. Like, we talked about the cloning when we talked about subways, but so basically there's parallel between the two. So there's me, and then there's a doppelganger underground experiencing the same thing I am, whether they like it or not. So it's like when Red comes and decides to take over, essentially, she gives this speech. And when y'all see this movie, I really need y'all to give Lupita her props because she went off for this role. She really did. This voice that she puts on, like, oh my goodness, it's crazy. It's scary. It's seriously scary. But she is giving this speech about when she was down there, she had to do everything she wanted that Adelaide wanted, even though that's not what she wanted. So she had to marry this man that she wasn't in love with, had to have kids with this man that she didn't like, had to ruin her body for a child that she didn't want, and have to have a C-section for another child that she didn't want. So it's like, you know, that's a lot, you know?
Yeah.
It's like doing all of that against your will is like, whew, that's painful. You know, that's serious pain to think about. And so, but in that moment, she's the villain. So you really are just like, what is she talking about?
What is she talking about? Fire? What? Like the whole time, like she's like a shadow.
Yeah, the way she explains it is
together.
that the way she explains it is that Adelaide is the person and she's the shadow, and so it's like I'm living her life without wanting to. So that's
and
how
there's
she
like a
explains
double meaning too, because when she was like a shadow and a man, we find out later that she's talking about her, Adelaide and this guy, the shadow, come together. So it's crazy how that whole speech can be interpreted differently after you watch the ending.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it was crazy. Weird how like on top, and y'all, I keep on looking at my shadow because I'm looking at it weird. Because on the other side, it's like they're all cute and feeding each other, but on their other side, it's like they're forcing it in this person's mouth and they're eating, but now they're forcing themselves to eat. Like it's a whole different parallel from what their doppelganger is doing, what the tethered is doing, the untethered is doing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like they can't really control like their body. Like there's this couple who's playing rock paper scissors in the underground. They're like trying to like control their body.
That scared me. I was
what is going on?
What is going on?
But that's finally that moment where you go, oh, like this is what they had to go through. This is what, and it's crazy because there's another. It explains how this. Okay, now we can finally talk about the ending. Since we've caught y'all up. I actually didn't write this one down, but if you see the movie, you know that Adelaide and Red are switched. So the real Adelaide was switched when she was a little girl, and she is underground living with the rest of them, and the Red comes up and takes over her life basically
and lives her life completely.
Exactly.
She learns how to talk
there's this whole moment where, you know, her parents take her to therapy, try to get her to like talk again because they don't have a language underground. So she's never talked before. So it makes sense why Lupita is doing this voice, and she's the only one who can speak English. And she's doing this voice because, okay, some people are saying because, like, my perspective of it was because she hadn't spoken in so long that it was hard for her to speak.
I agree.
And then other people are just saying, you know,
and because she was strangled.
Yeah, some people are saying it's because she was strangled, but I think it's both. I think it's just because she didn't speak for so long.
I kind of think that it's both. I also told Jayla, like, this girl in my class, she interpreted it as like the black woman always finds a way, and she's strong. But I agree. I think it is because of her vocal cords were damaged, and I think it has something to do with the fact that she hasn't spoken in so long. Like, I think both can kind of both really does make sense as to why she isn't speaking. And the ending kind of gets us, like, what's really great about the film is that it kind of makes you conflict between like what's like, who right do you feel bad for her. Yeah. And it's funny because me and Jayla was sitting before, it was like, I know Jordan Peele is not about to have like everybody live, like somebody has to die, but he didn't kill anyone. Also, he didn't kill
any of the good guys.
Any of the good guys. But it made you think when you found out that the real Adelaide ended up getting killed and Red is on about her normal life that she created. It kind of makes you think, like, am I happy about this or am I sad about this? Like, when you think about it, you're like, dang, it is sad that she never really got to live her life and this, that, the third. But at the same time, you happy because you like, this the new Adelaide, this Adelaide 2.0.
But I mean, I'm not happy for that reason. I'm happy because it's like, well, she had been, I mean, you have to think about it from the child's perspective. Like, she's down there, she's eating rabbit all the time, you know,
which makes you malnourished.
Yeah, she's eating it awful. She's eating awful. She's living an awful life. Like, who wouldn't want to switch? So it's like, and then she got away with it for all those years, and then all of a sudden the vengeance comes back. So it's like, do I feel bad for her? Do I feel bad for the one who got switched? You know, it's very interesting, you know, because like we said, we're in the American way is like, we want the underprivileged to make it to the privileged life. Yeah. So it's like, where do we put this movie? You know, on the spectrum.
The underprivileged did make it.
Exactly.
And
so
technically, all of them did. Because if you watch to the end, they all are hand in hand. And they essentially do make it out.
Right. So it's like, it's kind of hard to say. And then there's another theory that the son was also switched.
And I think the son was also switched because for him to be able, I feel like he switched when he was able to mimic himself and get himself to walk back into, I don't know what moment, but I feel like that moment
No, people are saying he switched before the movie starts.
With the lighter?
So, yes, they're saying... Because, you know, when the grandma died the summer before. So this is like a year later. They're saying he switched that summer. So it's like, it would make sense why he wasn't talking, because he was very, you know, connected to his mother, to his grandmother. So, you know, they just think, you know, he was very depressed because because the dad says, you know, it would make him so happy to go to the beach, you know. So when he's trying to convince her, let's go to the beach. And he's like, you know, he lost his grandma, you know, it would be happy for him. And so that's very interesting because that would have been a perfect time to switch. Plus, the Red knows English. So it makes sense that he would have been able to learn a little bit, you know. She taught him a little bit. And then the part where where he's burned, that was the original son. Because when they switch, you know, every time he's playing with that fake spark, the one underground is playing with actual fire, and it's close to his face, so he's burning himself. And so they're saying that that's why he couldn't speak, because he burned his own vocal cords.
On burning himself,
and so that's why they're saying
he was like, last summer it worked.
And so that's why he's saying, like, you know, he kind of, you know, and then and
how did it work?
The only one theory that I don't like is they're like, when they say, you know, where'd you learn this language? You know, why do you speak that way? Because that doesn't really show anything, because he wouldn't have been talking like that underground because his mom is teaching him language. So, but then the part that does make sense is when he's able to control himself. I thought that he was just smart because, you know, he's the youngest, and, you know, people sometimes don't give kids as much credit as they deserve. So he was able to control himself because he was probably more assured of himself.
More disciplined.
Yeah. So when he was, but they were saying that they think they were switched because when he was backing up and he backed up into the fire, the other mom grabs him because that's her actual son. And so I was like, that's an interesting theory to think that the son was switched as well. So, because at first I didn't get that. And then at the end, I just thought he was like,
I'm dead.
I know you, not her. I get it now.
Yeah, that moment between them, there has to be an explanation for the moment between them. Now, other people is like, I saw a theory in the video. They were like, while he was in the thing in the crate, like Red told him during that time when she was kidnapped, like, I'm real and and stuff like that. Like, he knew. But I feel like there had to be like a deeper connection, because like literally what I realized throughout the entire movie with the daughter, I thought it was because she trusts the daughter more. But when her and the son held hands, and they like, I got you. And the entire time, like, she always made sure that she got him. Like, I always felt like there was something different with their relationship. And it mirrored it at the end when they had the long stare.
Yeah.
When they just stared at each other and smiled. Like, an evil way.
Yeah. That one is the only one that kind of tripped me up. Everything else, I was like, I see that. Because
we didn't get no cue. We didn't get no,
you
this
just
is
get
going to happen.
You just get this moment. You get these moments where you didn't see him, so you're like, it's possible. But
or when he was in the closet.
Yeah, another theory about that was, I'm kind of sporadic because I'm thinking of them as they come, but you know how his little ambulance truck saved him from getting locked in the closet. And then that's how they got out at the end. And I was like, oh my god. Okay, foreshadowing.
I am stressed right now. This is why
Jordan Peele's mind is
I was like, Jayla, if we watch this again and we come back with this podcast, like literally, guys, I am flabbergasted. And when do you say flabbergasted?
Right.
I am literally.
We might do a part 2, but only on the YouTube.
Yes.
This, so.
And we'll do it like in a vlog form.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause that oh my gosh. I just caught what the heck is life?
Yes, it's a lot.
I am really shook right now, Jayla. Like you have me tripped.
Yeah, it was a lot that happened. And I was like, I've just been going through these videos like, okay.
The ambulance.
And then some people were like, I don't know, who do you feel bad for? Do you feel bad for original Adelaide or Red? I mean, original Adelaide / Red, or Red / fake Adelaide.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was happy when they drove off into the thing. I was like, yes. Because technically, and I've been talking about this with all my friends because they were like, Erica, you're wrong for this. No, it's bad that she got killed. But I'm like, but we fell in love with her in the beginning. We was rooting for her.
I don't know.
Up until this point.
Yeah, I don't really know who I feel bad for because at the same time, it's like, if Red would have got out, Red / original Adelaide would have got out. Where's she going?
She got no family.
And
everybody
she would have
died.
Killed the original family, the other family. So it's like, and they didn't deserve that because they didn't know.
They didn't know.
Switch.
And that is why I don't feel bad.
So I don't know. It's all I don't know.
She literally would have killed everyone.
Yeah.
She would have killed the entire family, and then she would have been alone.
Yeah.
Then her parents then fell in love with fake Adelaide. Now let's just all the complications. Let's just keep fake Adelaide.
Oh, that's another
Adelaide
thing.
Squared.
The Adelaide Squared. That's another thing. When they said a part like Adelaide / fake Adelaide / Red, she was vegan. And that makes sense because when she was underground, they had to eat the rabbit meat. So she was like repulsed by meat.
Yes.
So I was like,
and they said rabbits, when you eat rabbits, if that's all you're eating, you get malnourished. And that's
crazy.
why they really didn't look like themselves because they were not getting the nutrients that they were supposed to. And the symbolism for rabbits, they say, is because rabbits multiply. They like how people be like, they be having sex like rabbits. Yeah, like rabbits. Like rabbits always multiply. They continuously are reproducing.
that is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're just gonna stop it here because we can talk about this all night.
Forever, ever.
Yes. So thank you for watching. Sorry if you were spoiled, but we told you there would be spoilers.
Yeah.
And we told you to go watch the movie.
Yeah, we did.
So we gave you fair warning. But
and if you have any theories of your own,
please tell us, please, because we are really into this.
Yes, slide in our DMs.
Yeah, as she always says.
Let us know, because I know that someone out there is like, you guys are missing it. You guys are missing it.
But thank you for listening to our theories. Let us know if you guys like this movie. This is our first time doing like a movie review analysis.
And we're film nerds.
Yes, we talk about stuff all the time, but today we were like, okay, we have to talk about
because our YouTube might not know, like, we're both film majors, we're film nerds, we're film critics, we're film, period. So
thank you for watching. We're happy that you were here with us for this journey. I'm sorry if we were kind of like sporadic, but it's hard for us. We get really excited about stuff like this.
Especially Jordan Peele, excuse me.
Yeah.
She's famous because Jordan Peele knows her.
He retweeted me one time.
Insert right here.
I'll say it in this video too. He produced a documentary about Lorena Bobbitt. It's on Amazon Prime. You should go watch it. It's really, really good. So if you didn't know that. Thank you for watching. As usual, I'm your host, Jayla Marie.
And I'm your co-host, Erica.
And support your friends and support Black businesses.
#.
But anyway, thanks again for watching. As usual. What is our closing? Okay, let me go back. Okay. I'm like all over the place. Okay. Thank you. How much time do we have left? All right. As usual, support your friends and support Black business. Oh, no, that's not it.
As usual, support your friends.
No. Okay.